What? Like those feathers? The question really is, should one call these bristles feathers? I feel more like a frizzled hedgehog. I'll give you a quick look at the rest of me. Now listen, I'll tell you a bit more about us now. Well, where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi, I'm Ozzy. Don't I look good with my feathers all in place? You know, young ostriches like me still have feathers on their necks and heads. But once we're grown up, like Dad over there, we'll have none left. Only bristles. They're nothing like mine. Come on, I'll show you what Mom looks like. Here's some advice. Make the best of what you have while you've still got it. See what I mean? Nothing left. Oh, and guess who they are? They are the rest of my family. Just look at them strutting through the desert in blazing heat and not a feather on their heads. That's us ostriches. We live in some of the driest and desolate areas. A bit like camels, you know. But there is one advantage to growing up. This pincushion on my back turns into the most elegant plumage. That's why Dad is such a show-off. On the other hand, Mom's plumage is not nearly as spectacular. It's grey and dull. Even so, she spends hours preening it every day. Hi, Mom. It's quite hard to believe that I'll grow up to be such a big bird with such a huge body, and all of it supported on two long, thin legs. We are the biggest birds on Earth, much bigger than the Corey bustard, or even the secretary bird. But the one thing we just can't do is fly. No matter how hard I try, I just can't fly. Perhaps it'll help if I turn my chest to the wind.
No, Ozzy, ostriches can't fly. We only use our wings for courting, and of course to frighten off our enemies. We're much too heavy to fly. Just look at the size of my thighs.
Gee, Mom, that's the biggest drumstick I ever seen. They are gigantic compared to my little legs. If I had legs like yours, I wouldn't struggle through the grass. I guess it's worth growing up after all. It's just so hard to believe that I'll grow up to be almost 3 meters tall. Boy, and how fast I'd be able to run with legs like yours.
You're right, Ozzy. Ostriches might only have 2 toes, but we're known for our speed and fitness. Anyhow, you would look much more respectable with shorter hair. And of course, once your neck is as long as mine, you'll be able to spot danger at a distance. And you won't have to worry about being stepped on by your dad.
Hey, look out, Dad. You nearly ran over me. Come on, chaps. It's safer to stay close to Mom. And it looks as though she has found something to eat.
This might come as a surprise to you, but ostriches aren't very fussy about their meals. Although we prefer the tips of heather and a variety of other plants, we don't hesitate to swallow pieces of wood, glass, iron, and even stones. I think this one is a little too big for you, Ozzy. And for more of a nuisance than a nutritious meal.
Ah! Ouch! Ah! Hey! Hey, get off! Go away! I don't want to eat you anyway. Goodness, Mom. Don't you think that's too big? How on earth are you going to swallow it all at once? Wow! Did you see that? I'll have to try that too.
Ah, that was good. Eating is an ostrich's favorite pastime. Will you keep an eye on the kids for me, Florrie?
Hey, chaps, no one's looking. Come on, let's go over to that patch of greenery.
You just can't trust anyone these days. The kids are quite a handful, and as if that wasn't enough, I have to keep an eye on the nest. Ostriches lay their eggs in a shallow nest scooped in the ground, which they share with others. We are not like other birds who build comfortable padded nests in the trees. Fortunately, Dad also does his duty. He sits on the eggs mostly at night, which is rather kind of him. Isn't he handsome? How I envy him, those beautiful black feathers. But I mustn't daydream. I should keep an eye on the kids, especially little Ozzy. He's a real adventurer, always straying off on his own. Come on, children. You're still too young to be out there on your own. Oh, no. Where's Ozzy? Has anyone seen him? Stay close to me. We'll have to look for him. Ozzy! Ozzy, where are you?
Wonderful. A wide open plain with no obstacles in the way. Just the place to practice some running. Ah, what was that? This has never happened to me before.
Ozzy! Ozzy, where are you?
Ouch! Ouch, that hurt. I'd better hurry. I think this is one of those dangerous birds Mom told me about. Ah! Ah! Oh, another one. This could mean trouble. I'll just have to untangle myself and very quickly too. Mom, over here. Help me, please.
There. I heard Ozzy. And he's in trouble. Oh, no. A goshawk. Keep going, my boy. Keep going. I'm on my way.
That was Mom. Help me, Mom. Help me.
I'm right here, Ozzy. Just keep running or try to hide. There. That got rid of one of them. Now for the other. Quickly, Ozzy. Run as fast as you can. I'll keep them away.
Mom. Mom, help. Please help.
It looks safe. Run, my baby. Run.
Oh, feathers, flightless feathers. Oh, I do wish I could fly.
Well, am I delighted to be out of the dusty desert sand. The greenery in this riverbed is much better. In the desert, everything looks the same. The sand seems to stretch on forever. The sand is not for me. I'm a desert lady. And by the way, my name is Laura Lakes. bit worried about my little Laura. She's still very weak and very fussy about her diet, and I've noticed her legs tremble and shake when she gets up. So I'd better keep an eye on her. Oh, it's very unusual for older camels to stumble when they get up or lie down. All she really needs is a lot of practice and a balanced diet. In these dry and desolate areas where we live, correct eating is very important. Being a young camel has its advantages. In the desert heat, I can always stand in the shade of another camel. They can suffer the horrible heat from the sun up above. Well, yes, I still have a lot of growing up to do before I reach their height. But in the meantime, I'll just enjoy being a young lady camel. I'm very special, aren't I, Mum?
Yes, you are special, Laura. But then all camels are. We have to be in order to survive in the desert. Have you noticed that our lips and noses are specially adapted to these harsh conditions? The cleft in our upper lip makes it possible for us to maneuver our lips around a branch and pick off only the leaves without the thorns hurting us. We can also close our nostrils to prevent the sand from entering when there's a heavy sandstorm.
I don't want to discuss sand in my nose. Rather tell me the reason for the silly hump on my back.
That silly hump, Laura, is our most special feature. It's our trademark. We store our body fats in our hump. If these fats had been spread all over our bodies, as with other animals, this would be like a blanket, and we would die in the heat. For many years, humans used to think that our humps stored water, and now you know that this is not true. Which reminds me, this is a good time to take a bath. Oh yes, you've guessed it. We don't bath in water. There's not enough of that in the desert. Instead, we roll in the sand. Come on, Laura, dear. Your bath is ready.
Oh, I don't want to bath. I really don't want to bath. I don't like the sand in my coat.
Now, don't be difficult, Laura.
Okay. I know the routine, and don't forget to wash your feet.
Now, don't mop your feet. They're specially padded to prevent you from sinking into the soft sand. As you've mentioned your feet, do you know that you have a fifth foot? It's underneath your chest. Mine is already heavily calloused, just like my knees.
I'm sure all those ugly calluses developed from taking these dusty baths. Mine is still covered with fur, and my knees are still soft. So that's how I would like to stay. I am a lady, you know. I just wish it wasn't so terribly hot in the desert. And on top of it all, the days are so long. This really can't be any good for the baby camel. Mom and Dad still make a charming and handsome couple.
Come along, dear.
Whoop! I almost lost my balance there. Luckily nobody saw. Just imagine the fuss it would have caused. How embarrassing. I wish my legs were stronger.
We'll be walking for quite a while, Laura. Tell me when your legs get tired.
I hope Mom hasn't noticed my shaky legs. Grown-ups always look at me at the wrong times and notice the wrong things, and yet sometimes when I need attention, they just ignore me. I feel so bored on my own. Doesn't anybody want to play? Only the geckos. That just goes to show. It's not fun being the only young camel around. It's very hot in the desert. Perhaps I'll feel better if I drink some of Mom's milk. Oh, things are not working out today. Even her milk won't cool me down. And now the wind has started blowing again. Soon my coat will be covered with sand. How awful.
Close your nostrils, Laura. It won't keep the sand out of your coat, but at least it won't blow up your nose.
That's right. What a clever idea. I've seen old Methuselah do that before. The howling wind always reminds him of his youth when he served in the cavalry. Proud young camel that he was. He must have carried very heavy loads on his back when he was young and suffered many sandstorms. Poor old Methuselah. He's too old and tired for that now. I wonder if my dainty legs will be able to carry such a heavy weight. Well, it seems like everybody's getting ready to leave. Careful now. Perfect. Oh, no. Nobody saw me. Hey, didn't anybody see? I did it properly for the first time and there's nobody around to applaud. Where is everybody? Laura.
Over here, Laura.
Mom, did you see that? My legs didn't shake or tremble at all. Getting up to this height always made me dizzy before.
I did notice, Laura. Your legs are getting stronger each day. Being unsteady is something that all baby camels have to overcome by themselves.
I feel wonderful, Mom. Perhaps I'll even carry heavy loads one day or allow someone to ride on my back. Like all of you, I'll walk over many dunes without getting tired, without complaining about my wobbly legs, because I'm now a true camel of the desert.
Being a tortoise is not always fun. Even though we're rather special reptiles, moving through the rough countryside is sometimes very difficult and can even be dangerous. This is because wherever we go, we have to carry our houses with us. We've lived on this earth for many, many years, even since before the dinosaurs. And, as you might know, the last dinosaur disappeared 200 million years ago. So, that makes us very interesting creatures indeed, don't you think? Baby tortoises hatch from eggs. The eggs are laid by their mothers in carefully dug hollows in the ground. After they're born, the babies look exactly like Mom and Dad, except, of course, much, much smaller. Mom doesn't have to worry too much about her babies, but then that's not really necessary because young tortoises can look after themselves right from the moment they're hatched. This is probably why tortoises have been around for so many centuries.
If you think that it's difficult for grown-up tortoises to get around, can you ever imagine how hard it is for us youngsters? Because of the spots on our scutes, that's the real name for our shells, people often call us leopard tortoises. But we are, in fact, mountain tortoises. Although this doesn't mean that we are expert mountain climbers. Sliding down slopes can be great fun. The hard part, though, is getting up on the other side. Be careful, Tingo.
Oh, tumbling tortoise. I've landed on my back. You youngsters really shouldn't be playing on those dangerous cliffs.
Don't worry, Grandma. I can get back onto my feet on my own. Oh, leave me alone. I just said that I can do it on my own.
Well, you'd better hurry up, Tingo. These succulents are delicious.
There we go. See, I told you, I can do it on my own.
Oh, well done, little Tingo. If she had fallen into a crack, it would have been impossible for her to get out, and we'd never have seen her again. Although their limbs are heavily armoured, female tortoises perform very delicate tasks with their hind legs. After digging a hole and laying her eggs in it, she very gently covers the eggs with sand, using her hind legs. Eating prickly pears is one of our favourite things. They're so juicy that we can go without water for a long, long time. Like most other things tortoises do, even our way of eating is slow. On top of it all, we have no teeth, so we swallow our food whole. Mr. Beetle here is also looking out for a snack. Just look how fast he makes those legs go. I hope he doesn't crawl underneath my shell. It's so ticklish there and it's hard to get him out. Oh yes, you might find it surprising that I say ticklish. After all, our bodies are covered with bony, hard scutes. Our sense of smell is also excellent. And I think I smell someone right now. Ah, yes, it's my friend Labunga that has come to visit. He's also a tortoise, but a different species. And like us, he also has poor eyesight. Labunga, you're on the wrong side of me. Come around to the front, my friend. A layer of horny shields, called scutes, as I told you earlier, cover our bony shells. They vary in shape and size from one species to another and play an important role in identifying the many different types of tortoise. Age rings also form on the scutes, and one can tell the age of a tortoise by counting them. Little Tingo has only 2 rings on her scutes. She doesn't know it yet, but her leopard spots will disappear with age because of her exposure to the harsh climate and conditions that exist in the areas where we live. Tortoises are very fussy about their diets. If they don't find food to suit their tastes, they could even die.
Hey, gang, look! More tasty bushes over there. Let's go and get some. Come on, let's have a race. Last one there's a rabbit.
where they find the energy in this heat.
Phew, I got here first. I couldn't live with being called a rabbit.
Who cares? I don't mind what they call me. My stomach is much more important. And after a quick bite, I'll go for a swim to cool off from this silly race.
Oh yes, although we are land tortoises, we enjoy the occasional swim. Our cousins, the terrapins, live in freshwater rivers and lakes. Their feet are webbed, which helps them to swim very well. They are omnivores, which means that they also feed on frogs and fish, while we are strictly herbivores, sticking to plants and leaves. Besides terrapins, we have other cousins who live in the ocean. They are called turtles and have the most graceful swimming style. Oh no, water doesn't really bother us. Not even when it rains. There's no need to dig a hole in the ground like other animals do. We just retract our arms and legs and stay dry and safe inside. That's the advantage of carrying one's house along all the time. Still, that doesn't mean we can live anywhere. This is where we have to live in Africa. As you can imagine, there are many dangers in the wild. Young tortoises often fall prey to jackals, hyenas and eagles, even to these nosy surrogates. However, the greatest danger to tortoises is the terrible bushfires. Even hiding in our shells doesn't protect or save us from that dreadful heat. You know, the life of a tortoise is not very easy. So please, next time you meet one, be gentle and kind and show these veterans of survival the respect they deserve.